Hey guys, well I shouldn't have done that. A little mistake, I'll show you in a minute. This is BW and we're back out in the garage. In this episode we're going to work on our tilt nose. We're going to get the outside into high build primer, hopefully get the Raptor liner on the bottom, get the hole cut in the hood, and do all the body work. Alright, we got a ton of stuff to do. I was telling you guys in the last video I had to take a grinder down through here to make this seam okay. Well, it split a little bit right there, so I had to put a weld along there. I'm gonna have to get that grinded and get that fixed up. All right, you guys will see I have the plate off. I just have the pin holding it in there because I got to body work that bottom where the patch is that we put on a while back. I got to get these cleaned up. I've come around to the front. I got all the holes welded over for the emblem we're not using, and we're not putting a bird, so I welded the 3 holes there. I welded and built that up the whole way to kind of make it look like a spear. I just took my time, waited till it cooled, added a little more weld, so that way we only have to use a little bit of filler and we'll just kind of smooth it out and it'll kind of look like it belongs. And then I'll try to soften this line up here a little bit. It is what it is. A little bit further back we're going to be putting our hood scoop with a hole anyway. There is a indentation in this hood right here, and you know what, we're not going to do a thing about it. It is what it is. That's pretty much where the hole's going to be. I tried to push it up and it just pops back down, so I think somebody sat on it or something, I don't know, years ago, who knows. And over here, this crimp right here, you can see how the paint is underneath. It's all cracked and wavy through here. There's a little tiny crack right here that's all rusted out, and it's got a little dent down in. I'm going to try to dolly it out a little bit and put some filler on there and fix it up the best I can, but it is what it is. It's not great sheet metal. I cut a little hole, or a little patch for the antenna hole. We got that welded over, and from the beginning of the video there, whenever I scarfed the inside edge of this fender, I went through a little bit. That was our mistake. All right, I'll show you why I did that in just a second. All right, we are doing away with the upper tracks. They were kind of in the way. Once I set these gaps and pulled everything closer, we lost about a 1/2 inch. So rather than sit there and mess with and keep cutting at the fenders and everything to make it slide back, I went over it with Phil, and it was like, you know what, dude, it moves so nice, why bother? So let me get the hood opened up and I'll show you what's going on there. All right guys, well, you can see where I did away with the tracks. I just deleted them, the top tracks, and we got rid of the posts with the little heads and bearings on there. All right, it's just as easy to slide the unit back by hand and just bring it down yourself. Really is. So rather than sitting there and fighting that stuff, because you could see in the beginning of the video where I scarfed the top fender on both sides. I'll have to clean them up with a grinder a little bit, and I went through a little bit on that side. It was because it was just starting to touch right here. All right, and when I cut those and trimmed them back, it stopped touching, but it was like the Hudson bearings on the track were coming back, and we had to bend the posts so far because we were running out of track. I guess I could have relocated the little posts and made that work, but it was just a bunch of extra work I didn't have to do because it worked so well without it. So Phil was over and I was like, you know what, dude, let's just, and that was the decision made, and that's what we're doing. All right, so that's where I'm at now. I got to get the cabin encapsulated in plastic so that none of the dust gets in there, because I'm going to use that drum sander I got to strip down the hood of the tilt nose. All right, let me get that back down and I'll show you that. You guys can see nothing really changed. You just threw it by hand instead of with the track. Works great. All right guys, well I draped the whole car in plastic sheeting. I did the engine bay on back. That way while I'm drum sanding this, we can at least keep all the dust out of the inside of the car. And then we'll just clean up the garage, and then we'll pull this plastic off, and hopefully it'll be the same as before. I mean, the inside's kind of dirty anyway, but it'll keep the ooglies from this job out. All right, I'll bring you guys back in at some point during the project. Hey guys, figured I'd bring you in and show you. We've been and as the words of my buddy in the north, man, we've been giving it all day. All right, so I got this fender stripped down. All right, we identified here and here we got dings. We got a big indentation right there. It's also on the door. We will try to blame Kim, but it was somebody else. And you know, I just identified that. I didn't take this off because I had this whole area stripped before, and there was 2 dings there, and I just smeared some leftover Bondo on there a while back. You see, I got it stripped down to bare metal right up to here, and then on the fender right up to here. Okay, we found the body work, and I already showed you guys a while back the body work for these eyebrows that the guy did. He just hammered metal in there, and he did the old-fashioned golden braze job. You can see a little golden braze right there. I'll show you a patch on the other side, and I promise you this guy's body work is better than mine, so I'm not digging that out. It's a nice job. I mean, it's for what it is. I found a big dent right here that is filled in, so I'll have to rebody work that. We took the metal, we took it down to bare metal over into here, and I could show you, except for here, there's a patch welded in the back here, and this is body worked in. All right, I showed you that hole, I think, before. It looks like it's got about a 1/16 inch buildup of Bondo around it, a little more, a little less. But we took it down to metal everywhere else, except for where the eyebrows is. All right, coming into the hood, I got it down to bare metal where I got to do the body work, where I screwed up the hood right here. No big deal. This won't come off. I mean, it will not come off. It's the same thing, I think, that they did on the Nova. I think that they scratch coated it with that red glazing putty, and it just won't come off. I'm thinking about running down to Lowe's and getting some citrus stripper, putting it on there, and then laying plastic over it overnight, and then trying to scrape it off in the morning. You got a big high spot where there was old body work here. That's no big deal. We can rebody work that. This is from us where we had our brackets that we took off and decided we don't need. That's going to clean up real nice and easy. All right, I showed you guys the spear already. I mean, that come out great. You know, that's a real big step down, anybody that knows about these hoods. And I just sat there and meticulously put weld after weld after weld, and then sanded it. So we just need to put a little bit of Bondo over top to fill up the little weld crevices, but that's pretty cool if you ask me, if I'm being asked. All right, coming over here, same thing. I got to do a little body work where I had the brackets before, no big deal. And I showed you guys this earlier in the video where I got to dolly this out. This is definitely bent up pretty good right here, and we'll get it taken care of. I still have to grind at these welds that I put in here, and we'll have to body work them. I actually forgot that hole down there, so I'll have to weld that up. But you can see I stripped this fender too. I even took it out right. Look at that body line. That looks like a brand new fender up into the body work. Same thing here. You guys will see, like, I just brought the drum up until I touched the Bondo. All right, and then I was able to smooth this back out with the hand sand and long board. But from here up, I'll have to add a little bit of Bondo back in because the drum just grabbed it before I could stop. I was trying to be very, very careful, but it only takes a half a second. And there's a couple scratches in the old Bondo anyway. We'll get that straightened out. But again, that guy was better than me. All right, so that looks pretty good. Down through here, you'll see a little bit of pitting where it was. That's what I think he fixed over there. So I'm gonna paint a little bit of converter on that. I'll leave that in bare metal. It should be all gone and out of there, but just in case there's any rust down in them pits, I'll put some converter on there when I get the converter out, because I've got to strip down the hood scoop yet too. All right, and I'm not doing that with the drum. We're going to just bead blast that once I take that front part off. It's aluminum or something, or pot metal, so we don't want that to get messed up. We're going to take that off, and then we'll take care of that. But you'll see I took it down to bare metal the whole way through here, and then up into here where it just touched the Bondo. Again, we'll just glaze that back down. That guy was better than me, and man, is that smooth. All right. And like I said, the metal's been conditioned really good. That drum conditions the metal. And I'll probably run a sander on the drum just to get it down a little bit more, so that it's not so deep. And as I come down here, this is where the patch is on the bottom that the other guy did. Now it's behind anybody. There's a brace, and when I lift the hood back up, there's a brace right here that runs along the fender, and so the patch works behind that. But you can see the gold, right? That's how they used to do it back in the day. They brazed a patch in there, and that's fine. All right, so we'll just fix up that body work and leave it. It's not a big deal. Fender otherwise is really nice, and I did right up to the lip. I'm not going to do up underneath. It's good. I'll get this old primer scuffed out, but that's about it. I'm sitting there, I'm looking. I might leave them rivets. I just might leave them. I'm not sure yet. But the only issue I'm having right now is with this red stuff, and I gave it, man. I did. I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it, but you don't want the metal to get too hot. You know, the metal gets too hot, it starts getting real flimsy with that drum. It does generate a lot of heat. You got to be careful. All right, and I already know I got little lumps and bumps in here, and that's from me. But once I body work that in, it's going to be fine. It's going to be just fine. All right, so that's where I'm at today. I'm going to clean up the shop. And then after I clean up the shop, I'm going to clean up myself. And hopefully the store's still open. And if it is, I'll run down there. I'm going to try the stripper on that hood. I'm kind of nervous because I don't want it to get over into the body work on the fenders. But I think if I mask up and be very careful, I think we'll be all right. All right, so we'll pick this up tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, we tried to drum sand this, and I mean, we went crazy on it for a couple hours, and it just wouldn't nothing come off of there. So we masked up our fenders because we don't want to get any of this citrus dripping gel on them. But we're going to try that. We're going to lay it on there. We're going to put a sheet of plastic over it, let it sit 24 hours, pull it off, and see if this stuff scrapes right off. What's the worst that could happen? Gobs on there. We'll try to brush it around, see what happens. It's going right on there. Kind of hard being your own camera person. But Kim's in there making me supper, so that's a pretty good excuse not to come out here and be my camera person. So I'll just do the best I can. But like I said, I'm trying to keep it off the fender, but get it everywhere else. Let it sit on it. We're going to put a coat of plastic on there. The more the merrier, I say, big gobs. We're going to put a sheet of plastic on it overnight so that it doesn't dry out, and really let it soak in and see what happens. Okay, it should take it right off. We'll see. Like I said, this red stuff, maybe it's paint, but I don't think so. I don't know. It could be, but it was not coming off. It did not want to participate in the get the hell off my hood game with the drum sander. So we're just getting this on there. We'll get it brushed in there. All right, it's just gonna be more of the same. I'm just gonna drop some big gobs on there and brush it around. All right, I'll bring it back in when I'm ready to throw the plastic on it. All right, well, looks like we got some pretty gosh darn good coverage here. All right, it's all over the hood, smeared all around. We even got it down here on this little lip. I'm gonna throw a sheet of plastic over it. We'll let it sit 24 hours, and hopefully it'll peel off like a banana. All right, well, I mushed the plastic down on it. I think it's doing something. Look up here where the plastic it got on there. So that's paint coming off of there. So it's doing something. So yeah, we'll let that sit till tomorrow, and hopefully I could just take the razor blade scraper and take it right off. And then we'll wipe it all down real good with some paint thinner and acetone, get it all cleaned up. Then I'll run the drum sander across it with maybe like a 180 drum or something, just kind of condition it, and then we'll do some body work. Looks good. That's the hope. Let's cross them. Trying to get this damn thing apart. Got these little trim washers, or trim nuts on there to hold the screen on. I want to get this is made out of that I guess pot metal or something, so I don't want to blast it. I want to media blast this, and then I want to get it in an ORS converter. That's what's going on there. Just trying to keep busy while that stripper's working on the hood of the...
What are you using as a table?
The hood of the Nova. Put the hood on the... While the stripper's working on the hood of the 55. I like the way that sounds. The stripper's working on the hood of the 55. Maybe that's where that dent came from. What do you think?
Maybe.
Oh my goodness. Let me get a screwdriver. We have to get some new trim washers for this thing. I swear I have. I bought them for the Nova, but they might not be this big. I'll have to measure these posts. They got them on Amazon. I just told Dawn about it. You can spin them, but these ones aren't spinning real well, so I'm just prying them off. Plus these are the rectangle ones, so they're gonna get stuck anyway. Boy, that is, there it is. That should take it off. These are highly sought after. This group generally has these missing. They break. So we're gonna take good care of ours. We'll just hand sand this one. We'll take the screen off. I might just get a new piece of screen to put in there. We'll see. Gonna media blast the scoop, but there's only soda ash in my little blaster. I need walnut shell. It won't even touch it. Over there, if you look on the corner, it cleaned the paint. It didn't even do anything. So I'm impatient and I can't wait. I want to look and see how this stripper did. It's been on there for about 3 hours. I actually lifted it up and did a tiny bit. It looks like the red's just gonna come right off. I don't know about if underneath it's gonna come off, but let's pull the plastic back and give it a try. Some of it's, look at it, it's actually coming off on the plastic a little bit. So it seems like it did something. Uh-oh. I got the masking starting to come off down there on that edge. Better stop that before it becomes a problem. There we go. It's all right. But we should be able to see how this citrus did. I'm told that it used to be a lot better than it is now, but it still should work. Oh boy. Can you get up on there? Hun? There's a step right there. You use the step if you want to come over the other side. Look at that. Isn't that something? Let's see how it comes off. I'll probably have to get a rag. I'll get one in a minute. Look at that. Now that drum sander would not touch that red cell. That just come right off, huh? Boy, I'll tell you, now we'll be able to hit this with the drum sander again after work tomorrow. I won't have it.
Maybe you should go the other way.
Which way, huh?
So you don't drop it in there.
Yeah, maybe I need to get a rag to put that on. Look at that goop, guys. That's pretty goopy. So let me get that cleaned off. Look, I got one of these old dirty rags, been outside for a while. Put it on that. Boy, that's a lot of paint. Oh my goodness, look at that. The teal and the red is coming off. The black is still on there. I'm assuming that that's like an original primer, I guess. Oh my goodness. What a difference. Look at that, guys. Alright, that's cool. Alright, I'm going to finish this up. and I think I'm going to put the video up. It's already about 16-17 minutes long. I don't want to get too long. And we'll do like a part 2 whenever I get the body work and the high build primer on this, and also the Inside we want to do with the Raptor liner. All right, so until next time, take care everybody.